Hi everybody, welcome back to our weekly webinars. Today we are touching on quite a special subject to talk about Sri Lanka and to hear a presentation on the Aman properties in Sri Lanka, Amangalla and Amanwella. And joining me today is our General Manager from the Sri Lanka office, Sanka, who's going to talk a bit about how we feel things are going in Sri Lanka at the moment and how tourism is picking up in the country. And then we'll go over to Dilini, who will talk about both the Aman properties, and she's the sales manager there. And yeah, so right now we've got some stats on the country and how tourism's been picking up. And so, yeah, basically wanted to first of all start with Sanka we'll say hi, and then to talk about how we feel everything's going in Sri Lanka.
Thanks, Liv. So yeah, everything is going good because one of the main concerns and one of the main questions that all the tour operators had in the recent past was whether Sri Lanka was safe, whether everything was open, and whether everything was okay down here in the country. So for the last few years, we've been running tours, and then there haven't been any problems, and everything is really going well. And then one of the main reasons why the clients keep on coming back to Sri Lanka during these months is because how not touristic it is. When you go into sites, then the sites are not filled with tourists, just like in normal months. So the clients are getting the benefit of having the sites all to themselves. So say for an example, it could be inside Yara National Park, where you have a leopard sighting all to yourself, or going up to see Giri Rock Fortress, where you're not surrounded by thousands of tourists. So it is the ideal time to be. And then the main questions that were there in many people's mind, like whether the country is having enough petrol, the food. So all those questions have been answered, and then we've been running tours throughout without any issues for the last many months. And then, yeah, this is the right time to come to Sri Lanka. And then, of course, on top of that, most of the resorts, the five-star resorts, the five-star boutiques, they are offering really good deals. So if you are traveling at this time of the year, you are getting five-star resorts at the four-star level prices in most of the places. So it's a really good value that you will be getting for your guests as well.
And also, exactly. So I feel like there's so many offers on at the moment, and also the service levels haven't dropped at all. If anything, I found that service has been even better than ever before, because they really, really want to impress everyone who comes to stay, and everyone's just so ready to have guests and to have people staying. And I've actually been to Sri Lanka twice in the past 9 months or so. I went last year in August, which was literally right after some of the political problems were happening in the country, and I still felt as safe as I've ever felt before being to Sri Lanka before that, and I felt like everything was the same in terms of safety as a traveler. And then I went again last week, and even more so, things are back up and running. There are tourists there already. All the hotels are just amazing as always. So yeah, please do not worry about any situation in Sri Lanka, because it is really, really such a safe place, and definitely ready to have people go and stay. And so I'm gonna let Dilini, so she actually can't turn on her camera for some reason, but she is there. So did you want to talk a bit about the stats that you've got up at the moment?
Yes. So the first slide, which you saw on the screen, gives the comparison of the tourist arrivals we had in January and February. So the numbers are certainly growing, as you see. United Kingdom, the number of visitors we've been having as opposed to January, as opposed to February. In February, we have actually, the numbers have increased. And let me move your attention to the other slide, where it will give you an idea of top source markets moving to the month of March, 1st of March to 31st March, where we see the United Kingdom among the top 3, and most of those players who have been among our top source markets in the past years, or rather in the good years in 2019, 2018, very specially coming back to the top 5 or top 10 rather, is quite great news. As you know, last year was a really the first 4 months, rather 3 to 4 months were quite good for Sri Lanka. We have not reached that numbers yet, but we certainly see that we are heading in that direction in comparison to the booking pace that we have right now at the moment. So let me now kind of take you to properties in Sri Lanka. I'm certain that most of you know that Aman has 2 properties in Sri Lanka, and that's Amangalla and Amanwella. So first, let me start with Amangalla, which is just about. Just give me a second, please. I'm trying to. Okay. Right. So Amangalla in Sri Lanka is located in the Galle Fort. I'm certain that pretty much all of you know where that is in Sri Lanka, but if there is anyone joining this webinar for the first time, I would first like to have you see where Amangalla is located in Sri Lanka's map. So you have the Colombo International or Bandaranaike International Airport located in Colombo, between Colombo and Negombo. And towards the south of Sri Lanka, you see Amangalla and Amanwella marked. So deep towards the south is Amanwella, and right in the south, rather in the center, will be Amangalla. And this is about a 2-hour drive from the airport, from the Bandaranaike International Airport. We have not mentioned the Mattal International Airport in this map, but it's further down towards the south. And even if a guest was to travel from the Mattal International Airport, it would be about a 2-hour drive from Mattal International Airport. So I'm sharing that information just so that you know. And right now, we have flights operating pretty much not the normal frequency which we used to have before the pandemic, but the number of flights from key airports are increasing, and there is quite a good traffic from the UK as well. So when talking about the Galle Fort and accessibility to Amangalla, either one could opt for a seaplane or take the road ground transfer to get to Amangalla, which is in the Galle Fort. So this building which you see in this picture is a almost a 400-year-old building. It is also Sri Lanka's oldest hotel, if I'm to put it in the simplest form. So this building talks about a lot of history. It has gone through a lot of changes over the years, with the British taking over Sri Lanka, the Portuguese, and the Dutch. It has witnessed all changes of time in history throughout the years. So simply 400 years says a lot about this building, and with a renovation back in 1994 when Aman took over, they have done a few renovations, and but managed to restore the building to its old world charm. And this hotel was opened in 2004 under Aman's brand. So we've got at Amangalla, we've got 31 rooms, and 29 rooms are double rooms, and we have 2 solo suites that we have at Amangalla. So when someone asks me how many rooms do we have at Amangalla, we usually tend to say that it's 29, because of the 2 solo suites that are quite small. So we don't really tend to emphasize on those 2 rooms, because one's perception of a room might slightly differ in comparison to the size of the room. So if it's a buyout, then we inform the guest about it. And but we usually, when it's a individual booking that comes through, we usually tend to avoid offering the solo suites unless it's mentioned to the guest. So this area you see is the area where you enter. As you enter into the property is the Great Hall. We call it the Zal, where usually breakfast, lunch, dinner is served, apart from the veranda that is right in front of it. So this is the veranda as you enter, and then you move to the Zal, where there is also the meal served during one stay. And here you will see the lobby or the reception where the guest will check in. So most of the time, the guest will proceed to the room, and the guest check-in details or the form will be left in their room so that they can very leisurely fill the form out and hand it over to their butler. But this is usually the lobby or the reception area, which one will see at Amangalla. I am first focusing on the common areas so that you'll be able to get an understanding of the views we have and the communal areas of the property before we move into talking about the room categories and the differences of the room categories. So the Sunset Terrace is on the second floor, where we find most of the guests having their sundown cocktails here usually, because it's a very beautiful view overlooking the Indian Ocean, and it gives quite a bit of view of the entire golf fort just from one of these windows. So it is one of those Instagrammable locations as well in our property. We have a lot of guests, taking photographs from here and enjoying a sunset cocktail. And then we also have the bar. The bar is actually located in the Great Hall, the first picture I showed you. So towards the side of it, there is a selection of alcohol that we have for our guests, displayed in vintage furniture that kind of blends well with our whole concept at Amangalla. And then we move towards further down towards the property, and we have a swimming pool half the size of an Olympic size swimming pool. And here I must say this is one of our unique selling propositions as well. So you wouldn't find another property like this in the golf fort who would have a swimming pool as this as we have at Amangalla. So that is one of the key points that I should mention, so that you will know and you will be able to communicate to your guests when they inquire. So we have the pool terrace with day beds, as you see in this picture. And then we also have a library. I'm still talking about the communal areas. We have a library with quite a bit of interesting books, mostly of the history and also about the property's history. Okay, so now let me walk you through the rooms we have. There are two other communal areas which I will cover towards the latter part of this presentation, because I might have to share or go into a bit of details. So let me now start with accommodation. And okay, so here you see the bedroom. This is the entry room category at Amangalla. Altogether, we have 7 room categories. And all of these room categories, except for the veranda chamber and the Amangalla suite, all of the categories can be converted. There will be one room that can be converted into a twin room. So that is very important to mention. So let me repeat myself again. We have 7 room categories at Amangalla, and except for the veranda chamber and the Amangalla suite, every room category has a twin room option available. There is one of each category that can be converted into a twin. And then we have the second category of rooms, that's the garden bedroom. Each room is quite unique, but all of it is decorated with antique furniture, as you see in this picture. And this room category 2 has the option of having a twin bed arrangement in case we have a guest request for it. But usually the bed arrangement in the other rooms will be, by default, it would be a double bed, double king size bed. And then we have the chamber room. So there is something quite significant I have to mention here. When it comes to our chamber room and anything above chamber category can be converted into twin rooms. So all these rooms are usually set as a double king bed arrangement. But if there is anyone who requests for a triple bed arrangement, then it will have to be a room category, either chamber or any room category that is above chamber. So here you see in the picture a veranda chamber where again we can convert it into a triple room. But not into a twin bed arrangement. And the suite and also the Amangalla suite with the living area. So usually the suite also has a similar setting like this, where you will find a desk and a considerable living space, just as the Amangalla suite. And then we come to our highest room category, that is the garden house, which is a standalone unit located right next to the pool, which can again accommodate 3 people. And it's quite it's called a garden house because it kind of feels like a separate, it gives you the feel of a house. So that's the reason we call it the garden house, because it's a standalone unit. So all the other rooms are in the main building, which you first saw in the first picture. It's all in that main building, but this unit is a standalone unit by the side of the pool. And I'm sharing a picture here just so that you'll be able to understand what sort of view the suite will have. So it is overlooking the church, and there is another window on the other side where you could see the ramparts and quite historical buildings in the surrounding. So I told you that I will have 2 communal areas that I will talk to you about later on in this presentation. So now I move to the spa, which is also quite unique to Amangalla, where we have 2 hydro suites which contain hot and cold pools. So this is quite unique for Amangalla, I must say. And We have 5 Ayurveda treatment rooms. And the hydrotherapy suites are called the baths. So this is a picture of one of the suites where you see, in this picture you will see the hot pool, but on the other side there is also a cold pool, and on the sides there is a steam room and a sauna. And we've got 5 treatment rooms like this. And then we move to another interesting area at our property, and that's the traditional salon which we have, and the barber shop. So I guess most of you are quite familiar with our offers. So some of the offers mention that a dry shave for him and a facial for her is included in their stay. And all of this is done at our salon here. And it is now being run by the 4th generation barber, who has taken over the traditional skill set that he has learned from the past years, taking over and offering our guests that service. So this is something quite unique, which you will not find at any other property in the Golf Fort or in Sri Lanka rather. So with that, we also have a meditation area for our guests. And a yoga pavilion. So now let me take you through the events or celebrations rather, which we can organize for your guests at Amangalla on special request. So quite a few might be familiar that we do have the option of organizing private dinners by the pool. So this picture you see here is of one of those settings that we did for a romantic dinner for honeymooners, which we do for honeymooners. And the Zal also can accommodate such celebrations, the Great Hall rather, or the Zal, where we usually serve our meals. So for exclusive or exclusive reservations or buyouts, we are able to accommodate, usually ideal number would be about 80 guests in that area for dinners or private functions or meals. I will quickly run you through some of the activities we have for guests staying at Amangalla. I'm sure most of you are quite aware of what can be done in Sri Lanka and the experiences, but just a quick run so that you will know. So from Amangalla, we can organize the whale watching safari, which is about a 30 to 40-minute drive away from Amangalla, and is usually best during the months of March to August. Sorry, I beg your pardon. It's usually best during October to about March. And then we have the Paddy Island dinner, which is a best seller of Amangalla. So usually what we serve here is a roti dinner or an authentic meal together with some Ceylonese music playing in the background. And I'm also sharing some pictures, some quick pictures with you of how the property looks like when it's ready for celebrations or private functions, for groups. And this was being set up for a wedding at Amangalla, where we kind of organized the dinner at the Great Hall. So moving towards excursions again, we have the Yatagala temple visit. So earlier I spoke to you about the whale watching experience and the Paddy Island dinner, and we have the Yatagala temple visit, which we can organize if your guests may like to. And the golf boat tour with a butler, usually, which is included for a minimum of 2 nights when they stay at or when you book Amangalla. And the ocean safari, which I spoke to you about earlier. And the artisans experience, Bawa architecture tour, tea and cinnamon estate visit. So those are a few activities that one can engage while staying at Amangalla. And here I have listed a few key information that you might like to know, which we spoke about during this presentation. I hope I was not rushing this rushing this presentation. I have to cover 2 properties, so I was taking it a little bit fast. But if you feel or if you have any questions for me, I will leave this time for you before we move to Amanwella.
Dilini, can you tell them a little bit about how during the off season you don't have to buy out the whole 28 rooms to do a buyout?
Oh yes. Okay, so usually during the off season, that means starting from 19th of January onwards. Not really the off season. Let me first tell you about the season, then let me tell you about the off season. So from 19th January to 30th April, one could just reserve 20 rooms and reserve the resort exclusively. And sorry, 25 rooms and reserve the resort exclusively. So from 1st of May onwards until 19th of December, one could just reserve 15 rooms, just 15 rooms. That is 50% of our inventory, and block the entire resort for functions. So I hope that was clear.
Yeah, that's great. And also, Dilini, how about families? I think you have down that corridor a double suite and a twin bedroom, which can act as a 2-bedroom unit, right?
Yes. So we have the option of having a bedroom alongside a suite where we can extend for families. As you might know, we don't have interconnecting rooms at Amangalla. Neither do we have interconnecting at Amanwella. But at Amanwella, we have outer connecting option, which we don't really have at Amangalla. But it can be, it could be on the same floor, if you understand what I say. So if there is a family of 5, we have always the option of allocating a bedroom with a suite, which are on the same floor, same building.
Exactly. And there is a door down the corridor which you can lock, where it becomes like a 2-bedroom unit exclusively for them.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. It is very difficult for me to find pictures to explain this. Actually, at one point I thought, we'll be able to do a virtual tour, a live video, but due to our poor internet connection, I wasn't able to do that. So like Sanka said, we have the option of accommodating requests like that. It's not that Amangalla doesn't cater to families. It does, and we have quite a unique setting to have such organized. Any other questions for me?
No, but everyone who's watching, do feel free to ask questions along the way. And then at the end, we can address them after the presentation.
Lovely. So can I move towards Amanwella? I know Amangalla is usually a little complicated to understand because we have 7 room categories there. But I'm happy to answer any questions if there is anything that anyone wants to ask, even later on in this presentation. Please feel free to do so. So I'll move to Amanwella. Olivia, are we running out of time? No, right? No, we've got 20 minutes more, right?
Oh, sorry. We're recording it anyway, so even if people have to leave, they can watch the recording
Lovely.
time anyway.
Okay. So I'm now moving towards Amanwella. So this property is quite a different concept from what you saw at Amangalla. So Amangalla is a colonial building, 400-year-old, almost 400-year-old building located in the Gulf Fort, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and just about 1.5 hours drive away from Amangalla, deeper towards the south in Tangol, we have Amanwella. So here we have 30 suites, individual suites, as you see in this picture. We have 30 suites at Amanwella, and each of this suite, every suite has a plunge pool. So that's just the property in a nutshell. So before I get to the details, let me first help you understand where exactly Amanwella is. Just like you saw in the previous map, just about 1.5 hours drive away from Amangalla, we have Amanwella. So usually when we have guests staying at Amangalla, they usually tend to end their stay in a beach location, or usually when we have visitors to Sri Lanka, we see people concluding their tour by spending at least 3 to 4 days on the beach. So we see the same when one visits Amangalla, they usually travel to Amanwella and then conclude their stay. So getting there, if someone is traveling directly to Amanwella from the Bandaranaike International Airport, it's about 2.5 hours drive. We've not mentioned here about the Mattala International Airport, but if one chooses to travel from the Mattala International Airport, it's about 1.5 hours, 1 hour to 1.5 hours drive. So this is the picture you see right now is the arrival or welcoming area when one steps into Amanwella or when one arrives in their vehicle to Amanwella. So this is where the butler, the general manager usually comes and welcomes the guests. So you see some pictures here of our communal lobby area. And the courtyard. And just to tell you before I move towards the other location, so this lobby area and this courtyard is also near the restaurant where usually people tend to enjoy their breakfast, lunch or dinner, or simply just enjoy a cocktail overlooking the Indian Ocean. And this is another area in the property that we have. It's called the Beach Club. The Beach Club is usually popular for barbecue dinners or romantic dinner settings, or simply just to enjoy a dinner. So this is our main restaurant, usually, like I said earlier, where most people tend to enjoy their breakfast, lunch or dinner overlooking the Indian Ocean, and where we also have the pool. which is an Olympic size pool. So I'm sharing some pictures here so that the pictures also can do some talking, and you'll be able to understand the property a little better. And here you have the lounge bar. And just like Amangalla, we have a library at Amanwella near the restaurant and the lobby area. Okay, so away from the main communal area, these areas, we move to our accommodation, which sometimes the guests tend to simply walk, or we have a taxi or a tuk-tuk rather that can take the guest from the communal area to their suite. So we have 4 categories at Amanwella, 4 suite categories. So just for your understanding, let me tell you how these suites differ from one from the other. So the layout of the room and the size of the room and everything in the room, the suite rather, is the same. What differs amongst these categories are the view. So higher the category, better view of the ocean. So like I said, we have the suite. We start with the garden pool suite. And then we have the ocean pool suite. So I repeat myself, the layout, the size of the room, the amenities, all of this are the same. What differentiates each category is the view of the ocean. Here, as you see the garden pool suite, and here you see the ocean pool suite, it's the same, but the view is different. So usually the ocean pool suite and the premium ocean pool suite have the best view of the ocean. It is much clear, and you have very minimal or little trees standing between the room and the ocean, so the view is quite nice and clear. And all of these suites have a bathtub and a plunge pool. I'm showing you some of the pictures so that you will understand it is the same layout. And the plunge pool, which is also the same size, same layout in all of these rooms. So at Amanwella, it's quite easy to remember. So we have 4 categories. We start with the garden pool suite, ocean hill pool suite, ocean pool suite, and the premium pool suite. So apart from this, we also have a spa and a wellness center at Amanwella. It's a little different to what you saw at Amangalla. We don't have hydrotherapy pools or suites here at at Amangalla you saw, but at Amanwella we don't have hydrotherapy suites, but we have Ayurveda treatment and treatment rooms that we can accommodate spa and wellness requests if we have for many guests. There is also an area for meditation, which is on the beach. and a yoga deck, which is also overlooking the Indian Ocean. So let me share some images with you and also share some details regarding buyouts, if there is any request which you receive from Amangalla. So usually during the peak season, we need at least 25 rooms to reserve the property exclusively. But during the off season, usually which is running from 1st of May to 30th November, we have the opportunity to accommodate, have just 20 rooms and reserve the property completely for guests. And we also can extend a run of the house rate depending on your requirement. Okay, so I pretty much covered the areas in our property, and these are some of the images that you will see here of the experiences which we have and how usually Aman sets up or prepares for such experiences. So this was set up during a picnic to the Yala National Park. And then the countryside breakfast. And you will also see the floating lounge experience, which is quite popular among our guests, and it is one of the best sellers actually. So this experience operates during 2 times a day. So either it can be for the sunrise or the sunset. And just a few pictures so that you will understand how the property is decorated for events, for weddings mainly. And just a little bit of more detail of what experiences we have. So we have the Mulkirigala Rock Temple visit that we can organize, the wild safaris that we can organize to the Yala National Park or Udawalawe National Park, where you saw, one of the picnic breakfasts being organized. And we can also organize the ocean safari to Mirissa, the market and village tour, where one will be able to see how we'll be able to experience pottery. So some of these experiences are already included in the offers that we have. You might be familiar with some of them. As an example, so one of the offers which we have is the wildlife experience, where we offer a trip or offer an excursion to the Udawalawe National Park. And some of the experiences have the village tour. So yeah, so those are a few activities that one can have or experience during their stay at Amangalla. So just summarizing all of the information that was shared during this presentation. So like I said, we have 30 pool suites at Amangalla. At Amangalla, all in all, we have 31 rooms, but we prefer to say it as 29 because of the 2 solo suites, which are not usually of the same size of the other rooms. But at Amangalla, we have 30, and the other communal areas which were shared during the presentation. So what I missed mentioning at the very first is the beach stretch we have at Amangalla. So in this aerial photograph, you will see there is quite a bit of beach stretch. And this is actually one of our USPs, unique selling propositions. It's an 800-meter beach, which is not rocky, but quite smooth. And during dry winter months, guests can swim. It's quite safe. So this is one of our highlights at Amanwella. So this brings my presentation of both properties to an end. I hope I managed to keep up to the time mentioned by Olivia. But I will leave some room for you to post any questions here so that I can answer before we conclude.
Thank you so much, Dilini. We don't actually have any questions yet, so definitely feel free to ask us. But I was going to say that if you do have any, because we do get this question quite a lot, people saying, is it actually safe to go to Sri Lanka? Asking for advice, asking for sort of training and information. So yeah, please always come and reach out to Sanka and myself. Mainly Sanka, obviously he's the expert on the ground, but I'm also here if anyone needs to ask any questions, because yeah, ideally we'll get to a point where we put everyone's minds at ease with any sort of things they thought were happening in Sri Lanka or any hesitations that guests might have, because it is an absolutely incredible country. It's got so much to offer. And yeah, both the Aman properties, two of the sort of top properties in Sri Lanka, really, really amazing service, 5-star properties. I was actually at Amangalla for lunch last week, which was, now I'm very much back to the cold reality of London. But yeah, they're both just unbelievable properties, and yeah, really would work for any kind of client, high-end client.
Yeah.
So actually, we're getting a few questions coming in now. So that normally starts to happen. People start to ask afterwards.
And also, I missed mentioning that even Amanwella is accessible by domestic flight or the usual ground transfer. So there is a landing area for domestic flights just about 3 kilometers away from the property.
Amazing. And do you have anywhere, if someone wanted to do like a helicopter transfer, is there somewhere to land near Amanwella?
Yes, of course we do. Like I said, we can organize to pick up the guest, and it's about 3 to 4 kilometer drive. It's a couple of minutes actually to get to the property.
Okay, amazing.
And also, when guests want to come to Sri Lanka for surfing, Amanwella is an ideal place, right? In Tango.
Yes, it is. Like I said, like you see here in this picture, it just has a very calm and quiet sea, especially during the dry winter months, where you don't get the monsoon blowings and the monsoon rains. So during dry winter months, it is quite safe, and we have our lifeguards, and or just guests can just simply snorkel or just sunbathe on the beach, whatever. It's quite a highlight.
Exactly. And also there is one of the top 50 restaurants in whole of Asia located in Tangor, which is called Smokes and Bitters. So some of the surfers, they like to go out and meet some of the other like-minded surfers. So that is one of the popular places to hang out as well. So if somebody wants to stay over at Amanwella for like 14 nights or even 21 nights, there are so many places that they can go out and eat. They are not restricted just for the property, so there is that option as well.
Yes.
And the surf season would be from November to April. So if somebody wants to surf in Sri Lanka, then Amanwella would be the ideal place to be actually. And also, just like Dilini said, if somebody is interested in wellness in Sri Lanka, then Amangalla would be the ideal place. Stay there for like 7 nights, meet the Ayurvedic doctors, curate your meals, and they have products ranging from weight loss, stress relief. So I mean, like they have a whole list of Ayurvedic journeys that you can do as well. So yeah, ideal for wellness packages as well.
And also adding to what Sanka said, so we are currently in the process of creating or bringing back some of the Ayurveda packages which we used to have prior to the pandemic, which will be of 3 nights and 7 nights. The package details have not been sent to you all yet, but most likely in the next 2 weeks or so, you should be able to, you should have this information with you. So this will be purely based on Ayurveda treatments at Amangalla, because we see quite a lot of inquiries coming in. And we also have a new spa manager, which I wanted to have her during this call, but she was a little busy. She's at Amanwella today, so she was unable to join. She joins us from Nepal. You know, she comes with a wealth of knowledge and experience where she could individually go into detail if you have a request. Some of you know, if you have handled clients who have such requests, especially for spa treatment and Ayurveda, their packages usually need to be tailored. So our spa manager, Sonam, will be the person whom we can put you in touch with if you have any information, or if you want any information that to tailor make a package for your guest. So this information will reach you hopefully in the next 2 weeks. So this is something that is going to be new to your or to your experience at Amangalla.
Great. So we've got well, a few comments, just people saying that the properties look fabulous, and yeah, that they can't wait to visit and go back to Sri Lanka soon. And we've got a question about mosquitoes in the lagoon. I think they must be talking about Amanwella.
We're talking about Valla Lagoon Safari. Well, not really. We don't have mosquitoes. I have personally experienced this as well, because there are fish in the lake, and it is not really a concern. It's not stagnant water. It's not polluted water. So it is not usually breeding ground for mosquitoes, because there are fish that kind of don't let them grow in the water.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, the mosquitoes, you know, they never really bother much. Like I don't ever find I get bitten much at all when I'm in Sri Lanka, and most places
Yeah.
give out that kind of citrusy smelling mosquito.
Repellents, yes, yes.
She's actually smells quite nice, so after along the way when it comes to mosquitoes.
Yes, not that we don't have mosquitoes, we do have mosquitoes. But specifically, if I'm to talk about the lagoon experience, no, it's not a concern. So far, we've not had any complaints, or we've not heard any guests say that, you know, they were stung by mosquitoes during the lagoon trip, because the water is quite clean. Usually, the dengue mosquito breeds in clean water where it's stagnant. But here, because of the fish and other you know, because of the fish, it's not their breeding ground anyway. So just addressing that concern. Any other questions?
Yes, one more. This person said, as I can see some suites at Amanwella standalone, and some of them are, sorry, so the question is basically, are some of the suites standalone and some of them are interconnecting?
Oh, well, yes, I actually missed mentioning that. Let me share that information with you. So at Amanwella, like I said, at both properties, we don't have the option of interconnecting rooms. But at Amanwella, we have the outer connecting option. That means the room connects through the balcony, which is overlooking the Indian Ocean. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to imply here. So you necessarily don't need to come out of your room to the garden and then walk over to the other. But there is an option, there is an option where you just could walk through your balcony to the other room, or terrace to the other room. So usually when we have requests for family, that's what we offer.
Sorry. So just to explain, so you will be entering into your villa from the rear side of the villa room, and then once you enter, you are into the pool area, and then your bedroom, and then you go into your balcony. So the balconies are connected with each other. So sometimes they have two rooms connected, and then from one balcony you can walk into the other balcony. So this is another family option that we use actually. So the picture that you're seeing right here is where you are entering from, and then you go into the balcony area, and then you can walk into the other room from there.
I'm just trying to see whether I can. So here you see this is the terrace, right? So now in this particular picture, you will just see a wall. But instead of this wall, some of the rooms have an option where there is actually a door. So you can walk over from this side to the other side, the other room. I hope I was clear. I think.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, I think.
That makes sense. It's okay.
Okay, well, that's all the questions. And we're coming up on 4 p.m, so we do have to finish up now. But thank you so much for joining us today, Dilini, and going through the Amans. And I hope that loads of people will start sending us inquiries for them. And for Sri Lanka in general. So yeah, please always reach out to Sanka and myself if you have any questions, any concerns, and yeah, we're always happy to help with anything.
Yeah,
and yeah,
very much, everyone.
I'll let you go, Sanka.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'm extremely sorry that I'm unable to give you a face to my name. Our cameras are not working. I think Sanka is having the same issue. Probably Sri Lanka is being restricted from this particular app. But please feel free to reach out to us at any time. We're happy to assist you. So thank you so much, Olivia, for organizing this. It was lovely meeting all of you. And hope to see all of you in Sri Lanka as well one day. And welcoming your guests to our peaceful Aman homes in Sri Lanka, Amangalla and Amanwella. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a pleasant evening, and stay safe and take care.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay.
And one last thing that I share was like, see, the thing is like, since everybody is traveling slow travel these days, Aman properties are the ideal places to be, because while staying at Amanwella, you can do the wildlife experience, and then do surfing, and then beach. While staying over at Amangalla, you can do the tea, the cinnamon, because you don't have to literally go into the hill country to do a tea experience. You can do the tea experience while you're staying over at Amangalla as well. So that is a two-step journey that you can do for guests who are having not a lot of time to do a round tour. Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
It's
all right.
Sri Lanka in a nutshell. It's Sri Lanka in a nutshell if one chooses to stay. Usually we have visitors from the UK staying with us for about at least 4 nights, average. So, and usually at Amangalla for at least 2 nights. But there's a lot that they could do. So even within a span of 7 days, it's like you'd get to experience Sri Lanka in a nutshell, like Sanka said, the cinnamon, the tea, everything's just about a 2 to 3 hour journey away at maximum.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you both so much for joining us, and yeah, we'll hopefully speak to everyone soon.
Thank you, Olivia. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye.